Hello everyone, it's Kat, and I'm here to give you a little bit of advice when it comes to VTubing. I'm going to call this video Part 1, The Basics, which goes over understanding VTuber culture and getting a model. So you want to be a VTuber, or you're thinking about being a VTuber, or maybe you're just curious about all of this. Either way, take a few steps back. Think about why you want to go down this specific path. What are your goals? What kind of content do you want to make? Why choose VTubing over facecam or faceless videos? You don't need to have anything set in stone, but kind of have an idea of what you want. It's good to kind of have some sort of goal in mind. Just have a good idea of what you want to base your channel around. Some things to keep in mind if you're going the VTuber route is that VTuber culture, like any culture, can be toxic. You'll have to set your boundaries early. Make measures to protect yourself and your privacy, because you would be surprised at how people, maybe not so much with me, but I've seen it with other people, how people will try to form a parasocial relationship with VTubers even when they can't see their face, and sometimes things get really messy, so you're gonna have to stamp out the weird stuff pretty early on. Think carefully about what you post on social media, because one bad thing or something that you didn't mean can be easily twisted, and before you know it, you've gotten viral on Twitter, and the court of public opinion decides how your career is gonna go. So just be careful. Be mindful of the people that you hang out with. Surround yourself with people that you think you can trust, that are going to have your back. There's a lot of people out there who are clout chasers or just like to cause drama. Be really careful about who you choose as your friends. Never go into VTubing or content creation with any sort of entitlement, like you're owed something for doing this. Nobody owes you. Nobody owes you. You're not entitled to anything. You're not entitled to people watching you for money. You are there to entertain, I presume. If people like it, then good. If people watch you, then good. And if they don't, that's fine. You're not owed anything. Enjoy what you do and be realistic about your goals. It's very, very unlikely that your channel is gonna blow up overnight, and if it does, then you're one of the lucky ones, but it's probably gonna take a lot of hard work to get where you want to be. Think about which platforms you primarily want to use. For me, for my streaming, I mainly use Twitch, and for my videos, I use YouTube. And also remember that if you're an indie, if you're not part of a company, you'll be doing most things by yourself, so like managing your content, posting on social media, editing videos, doing your streams, everything is pretty much done by yourself. So it's kind of good to have a basic knowledge on how algorithms work, search engine optimization, what keywords to use, and social media management, what makes a good thumbnail, what makes somebody click on your video, what makes them drawn to your channel, that sort of thing. Now on to how to get a model. There's different routes that you can go when it comes to getting a model. You can go either for a pre-made, customizable, or commissioned one. Pre-made and customizable models fall under the same umbrella. Pre-made models are models that are already rigged. Basically what you see is what you get. Most creators will not allow you to alter the design. They may let you change the colors, like for example if you're using VTube Studio, they may let you change the colors of it. It's very unlikely they'll let you alter the design. Pros for pre-made models: they're budget friendly a lot of the time, easy to set up, has a distinguishable aesthetic based on certain themes, characters, etc. Like the first model that I used was based on the Jirai K aesthetic, which is very popular in Japan, and it's kind of spreading into the West, but it has a very distinct look. That's what you'll see with a lot of pre-mades. They usually have a very specific theme centered around them. As for cons, they're not unique to you, so a lot of people can own the exact same model. They usually can't be altered. Breaking terms of service can lead to fines and/or the model being taken away from you, so you have to be really careful to read the terms of service and understand what you're paying for, what is acceptable to the creator, because if you do something that is against TOS, you can get fined a lot of money, and you don't want to do that. You pour money into your VTubing journey getting all this kind of fancy, cute stuff, and you don't want to have to pay even more because you broke terms of service that you didn't read. As for customizable models, they're pre-made models that come with different variations, allowing you to mix and match hair, clothes, and colors to create something more unique to you. One model that you may have seen me using is this customizable model by Suika, and you can change the different outfit types, you can change the hair, you can change the colors, the accessories. She even gave you a PSD file so that you can go and add your own textures, and I added vines onto my model's arms. And that goes into one of the pros of getting a customizable model. They can be more personalized to your taste. Can use several different looks with one model, so if you want to like change how your model looks, if you want to make the hair longer one day, you can do that. If you want to change the color, if you want to change the outfit, you can do pretty much anything. You can do a lot with a customizable model, and you can create something that's a little more unique to you, so you can kind of like make it your own, especially if they give you the PSD file and they give you permission to alter the model a little bit. You can really make it something that is like unique to you specifically, even though it's a customizable model. They can also be more budget friendly. It can depend how detailed the model you're getting is, but they are more affordable compared to getting a commission model. Usually they can be anywhere from like $20 to a couple hundred, while getting your own model can easily go up into the thousands of dollars. As for cons, like pre-mades, they are not exactly unique to you. You can make it unique, but especially if the model artist doesn't allow you to alter the design of the model, somebody can kind of copy your look, so you just have to keep that in mind. You have to be mindful of the terms of service. If you break it, just like getting a pre-made model, you can get fined or your model can be taken away from you. And depending on the artist, usually can't be customized any further unless the artist gives you permission to go into the model files and, change some things. You have to make sure that you're allowed to do that before you do it, and then you find out it's against terms of service. So just be aware of all of that. As for commission models, they're models that are designed by you and you own that model. You can either create your own or you can work with artists to draw and rig it. For pros, you can customize it and change it as much as you want. You have plenty of room to get creative. You can make it reflect your personality. You can make it exactly how you want it. And this model belongs to you. Nobody else can copy it. It is something that is completely your own, and it's special. But going into the cons, they're not really budget friendly. Making a model, depending if you get Live 2D or Vroid, the prices may vary, but it can get expensive because somebody has to draw your model, draw the art, make sure the layers are separated so they can then rig it, and that takes a lot of hours of work. So they're not budget friendly. If you're just starting out, you don't necessarily need your own commission model. You can use like a pre-made or a customizable pre-made until you have the money for it, but don't get into it unless don't get your own commission model unless you have the money for it. Don't go into debt just to get your own model. There can also be long wait times depending on the complexity of the art and rig, so you have to be aware that it can take several months for your model to be completed, so it's not gonna be like an instant thing that you get in a couple of weeks. I highly doubt that will happen. Maybe some people just work really fast, but it's probably gonna take a while, and you may not be the first person in the queue either, so you have to keep that in mind. And you also need to make it unique enough to not face any copyright issues. Don't try to copy a character that you like and make it look really, really similar. You may not want to make your model look almost identical to Hatsune Miku and then try to sell merch with your model, because you can run into legal trouble. And try to look around and make sure your model doesn't look like a an exact copy of somebody else's. Sometimes you can run into issues where they just end up accidentally looking similar, and I think that's fine. If you don't do it on purpose, you know, that's okay, but some people will have a VTuber they really look up to and try to make their model look really similar to theirs, and then they run into problems, and then it can explode online, and it just ends up in a big mess. So, for example, if you're going to be something like a shark VTuber, there are a lot of shark VTubers, or sea-themed VTubers. Kind of look around, see what their models look like, see how you can make your model look a little bit different from theirs. What makes yours stand apart, you know? There's lots of room for creativity, lots of room for customization. Just go crazy. If you're at the point where you can commission your own model, have fun with it. Have fun with it, make it look how you want it to look, make sure you are happy with the product, and if something isn't going the way you want it to in the process, communicate that with your artist and your rigger, and I'm sure they'll be willing to work with you. These are just some basic tips and information for you, but I hope it's a little bit helpful. I'm not really good when it comes to giving technical advice, but I can kind of give my own advice when it comes to VTubing. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. I'd love to answer them for you. And good luck with your VTubing!